Now on CBS 46 News at 6.
We're taking a look at crime statistics in Atlanta pre and post COVID-19. Coming up, we're breaking down the numbers.
This is Shannon. She's worked at the same restaurant across from Truist Park for 13 years. She got her first unemployment check, but now she and her coworkers haven't seen a dime since. Coming up, the common mistake employers are making that are keeping people from getting their money.
We're buying takeout every single day, which was dangerous.
I'll tell you why a local woman contacted CBS46 News after her fridge broke and she struggled to get the company to fix it.
But first, and breaking at 6, the end is near for President Trump's coronavirus task force. Less than an hour ago, Vice President Mike Pence announced the coalition will begin winding down around Memorial Day. According to NPR, the task force has already begun to talk about a transition plan with the Federal Emergency Management Agency.
Also right now at 6, CBS 46 is in storm mode. The CBS 46 radar lit up like a Christmas tree as potentially severe weather pushes deeper into North Georgia.
Chief Meteorologist Jennifer Valdez is in studio tonight tracking the storm system. Jen, when can we expect this to end?
It will end tonight, so that's the good news. The other bit of good news is this is weakening as it moves to the south and east. So the highest potential of strong storms, of severe storms, is over the North Georgia mountains. But even in the metro area, these could still be strong to severe as they move through later this evening. Right now, seeing lots of lightning across all of North Georgia. Very heavy rainfall and pea-sized hail. Gilmer County, Fannin County, into Union County, Towns County, seeing some very heavy rain as these storms race to the east at about 50 miles an hour. Right now, Ellijay being lit up, and I'm sure outside your home you're hearing lots of thunder. These storms are very electrical, and there is more on the way. In fact, as we head into Fannin County or into Floyd County and then along the Alabama border, we have more rain moving in. Again, lots of lightning with some pea-sized hail. This particular storm moving east at about 50 miles an hour, heading towards Crystal Spring at 5:56, Calhoun at 6:14, then towards Pine Log at 6:27. This entire line is moving to the south and east, and as it does, it will bring that severe weather threat further south. Again, it is weakening as it moves south, but still lots of lightning, heavy rain expected as it does eventually push into metro Atlanta. The highest risk of severe weather is this area in yellow, so the North Georgia mountains, a level 2 risk of severe weather, gusty winds, heavy rain, the biggest threat. But even in the metro, as this storm system moves in around 7, 8 o'clock, could see some isolated strong storms. Now, I do want you to notice as we head through the evening, notice how this line starts to break apart a little bit. So it is expected to fizzle a bit and weaken as it makes its way into the metro area. So great news for metro Atlanta. That is why the severe weather risk is lower for the metro area. Then eventually it will continue to push on out. By about 10 o'clock, we are in the clear with that severe weather threat and that rain finally coming to an end. We do have big changes once this rain moves out, and that is a huge drop in temperatures. We'll talk about that and your Mother's Day weekend coming up. Sean?
All right, thanks, Jen. And of course, now is the time to download the free CBS 46 streaming app. You can get weather alerts telling you when this potentially dangerous weather is headed to your neighborhood. The app is available for Apple and Android users.
Gunshots and an online feud. Atlanta police say someone shot 3 teenagers last night on Boulevard in the Old Fourth Ward neighborhood. Investigators say the shots came after a fight over comments made on Instagram. All of the injured teens are expected to be okay. Well, we may be in the midst of a pandemic, but not all criminals have been sheltering in place, Sean.
While overall crime, Rick, in the city of Atlanta is down, some crime has been trending upward. CBS 46 is looking out for your safety tonight. Ashley Thompson going to break it all down for us.
The front of this East Atlanta business now boarded up because criminals smashed their way inside. And we're told they did the same thing to several nearby shops. Clearly, not all crime is taking a backseat to the pandemic. From March 13th to April 29th, non-residential burglaries spiked in Atlanta, up nearly 52% over the same time period last year.
Well, it's another wonderful night in East Atlanta Village.
Someone broke into Icon Hair and Wigs just last week. Fortunately, the shop owner tells me she took most of her inventory out at the start of the shelter-in-place order. It's not just businesses being hit. APD crime stats show residential robberies are also up from March 13th to April 29th, about 31%.
You have the influx of people shopping more, people being home to see what's being brought into the home, and 1 + 1 is 2.
Ken Lewis with ADT Security says more people are inquiring into monitored security systems right now.
Well, what we've seen is an uptick in video surveillance, and that includes doorbells, indoor and outdoor cameras.
While the numbers may be alarming, there is some good news. Atlanta police tell us post-COVID-19, from March 13th on, overall crime in Atlanta is down nearly 30%. They're seeing less auto theft, aggravated assault, and homicides, just to name a few, over this same time last year. In Atlanta, Ashley Thompson, CBS 46 News.
One of the best decisions I think we made early on was these mobile hospital sites, because they're going to be good today and tomorrow when patients start coming in here.
Governor Brian Kemp spent time in South Georgia today. He toured the temporary medical pod located at the Phoebe North campus of Phoebe Putney Health System. The pod will be up and running tomorrow. It houses 24 beds to treat non-critical coronavirus patients. And at this hour, Georgia's number of confirmed coronavirus cases closes in on 30,000. The state has nearly 1,300 virus-related deaths.
A new coronavirus hotspot is emerging in our state. Governor Kemp says resources in Gainesville are strained as health officials work to keep up with the growing number of cases. The Department of Public Health reporting more than 1,800 cases and at least 24 deaths in Hall County. Governor Kemp says the National Guard is setting up a mobile hospital in Gainesville now to create more beds for patients there. Tonight, the Atlanta-based Centers for Disease Control is considering an idea that will enable it to identify potential coronavirus hotspots using wastewater. Testing is already happening in 40 different states. A company called BioBot has collected samples from nearly 300 wastewater treatment plants. Doctors analyze the samples, look for trace amounts of the virus. This enables doctors to find out where potential hotspots are located.
So that trend data can really provide information about the impact of opening up a community or maintaining mitigation efforts, as well as give you an early warning system for a second peak.
And we are still waiting to hear back from the city of Atlanta on whether or not this is something they will pursue.
Georgia's economy continues its very slow reawakening, but today 3 Metro Atlanta malls reopened. Cumberland, North Point, and Perimeter malls all have new safety guidelines in place to protect employees and shoppers. They include multiple hand sanitizing stations and new seating in the food court to promote social distancing. The malls also have amended hours, 11 a.m. until 7 p.m. Monday through Saturday, and from noon until 6 p.m. on Sunday. Another mall and another step towards reopening in Georgia. Well, the Mall of Dogs. The dog parks are now welcoming wagging tails again. Gwinnett County reopened 11 dog parks in various neighborhoods. Neither dogs nor their owners get free rein of the park. Guidelines include limiting the number of dogs and their owners inside the park to only 10. Once inside the park, you must practice social distancing. That includes social distancing for your pets. And also opening today, indoor stress relief for parents and children. Dave & Buster's in Marietta reopened today. Safety guidelines include employees wearing face masks and gloves, closing certain games to encourage social distancing, and disposable one-time only use menus. Dave & Buster's will open its McDonough and Lawrenceville locations later this week.
Not all Georgia residents are rushing back to their favorite malls and shopping centers and restaurants. Many are taking a wait-and-see approach. It's potentially safer for them, but harmful to businesses. The owners of Synergy Suites Luxury Salon says business is down more than 50%. Bad Axe Throwing says business is down more than 100%.
It's not good. We were going every day, 7 days a week. We would have people in here, filled out, and then that took a sudden drop. Everybody felt that drop. Nobody expected that to come.
People just haven't been wanting to return. So business has declined tremendously, and it's kind of tough getting people to come back.
Reopening businesses say they are doing everything they can to ensure customer safety. They're just hoping people believe them and start coming in again.
Atlanta Mayor Keisha Lance Bottoms is active on this Giving Tuesday. Today, she announced the opening of applications for the Strength and Beauty Fund. This is a new relief effort to support Atlanta's cosmetology industry workers impacted by the pandemic. The Create L Relief Fund will give out $1,000 to applicants who qualify. The money can be used to help out with food, housing bills, and transportation costs. Mayor Bottoms also moving forward tonight with a special committee. Earlier today, her coronavirus advisory council gathered for what was supposed to be the second and final time. However, the council added another meeting to the agenda. It will give the group of business and community leaders more time to work on a list of reopening recommendations. Okay, did you get your first unemployment payment if you were expecting a check and then did it stop? If that's the case, you are not alone, Rick.
I know it's apparently happening quite a bit, and Better Call Harry is getting tons of emails about a simple mistake that employers are making when they update your claim. For one restaurant worker, it's a matter of life and death.
So 13 years, you cook. Shannon Lewis is the deli clerk at Cafe 1100. It's in this office building across from Truist Park. The park is empty, the office building is empty, and after 13 years, Shannon's last day was March 13th.
I have health problems. I have a mass on the right side of my brain. Supposed to be seeing a neurologist, but right now I don't have the money. Hey, guy.
We'd say this isn't brain surgery, but in Shannon's case, it is. She was approved for state benefits, and she got her first payment, but only one. Your unemployment is potentially a matter of life and death.
It is. It really is, because I use my money to pay, for my co-payments, to medicine.
I understand, and this is why I was calling you.
3 of Shannon's co-workers are in the same boat. Why did their payments stop?
But they're in that process somewhere.
A spokesperson for Georgia's Department of Labor says employers are not changing the date on employer-filed spreadsheets, and it looks like they are filing for the same week over and over.
I know.
To get the cash flowing, the Labor Department called Shannon's boss, and he called her.
He said that they're supposed to fix it and resolve the problem today.
Her co-worker, Johnny Driscoll, got the same news.
They're gonna do everyone.
Lewis is ready to make her doctor's appointment. She is ready to get back to work.
And to the Georgia Department of Labor, it's no hatred to the Department of Labor. I know they're overwhelmed. I know they are. But just know that we are wanting answers. That's all we want is answers. All right, Harry, have a good one.
I'm Better Call Harry, CBS 46 News.
We are in storm mode with some storms roaring through North Georgia. Before we get to that, let's talk about the heat. This is part of the problem. This is why we have that threat of severe weather. Temperatures got up to 84 degrees this afternoon. The forecast was 85. Of course, within 3 degrees. We were 100% accurate through April, and we're starting that trend as we head into May as well. So far, the donation, $150 for the Atlanta Community Food Bank. Of course, we'll continue to add $50 to the pot as we get that correct each and every day through the rest of the month. Temperatures where it's raining has cooled off big time. Now in the 60s in Ellijay. Still really warm and humid in Atlanta. It is 80, but that is going to change as this line of showers and thunderstorms moves south. Very heavy rainfall, lots of lightning, pea-sized hail, all within these thunderstorms that continue to move to the east very quickly at about 50 miles an hour. These storms are below severe limit, so they are not producing severe weather, but they do have what we call a significant weather advisory. So although it does not meet the parameters to be considered a severe thunderstorm, it does have significant weather. And in this case, that means pea-sized hail, 40 to 50 mile an hour winds. On top of that, we are seeing very heavy rain, lots of lightning for Gilmer, Dawson, Union, White, Lumpkin, and Fannin counties. These storms are roaring to the east at about 50 miles an hour, heading towards Helen at 631, towards Purdue Mill at 640, then Democrest right around 643. And just behind this storm system on its tails through Floyd County into Gordon County, very heavy downpours. Again, lots of lightning. If you're in Calhoun right now, you heard it yesterday with those intense showers and storms. You're hearing it again with a tremendous amount of lightning. Again, all of these just below severe limits, but certainly you are hearing it if you are in it. These storms will travel south. As they do, they are expected to deteriorate a bit and weaken. So I'm not expecting the storms to be nearly as strong as they make their way into the metro area between about 8 p.m. and 10 p.m. Eventually, they will move out. So as we approach midnight, the storm will be over and done with. And luckily, they are weakening as they move south. As far as those rainfall totals, although these are producing heavy rainfall, they are fast movers. So for the most part, we're going to see a trace of rain, some isolated pockets of a half an inch to an inch, but that is going to be an anomaly, with most of us picking up a quick burst of rain as these storms move on in. The biggest threat is going to be lightning, but strong winds not far behind it, hail possible as well. Tornado threat extremely low, just like the storm system we had yesterday. So as we head through the evening for Metro Atlanta, 30% chance of rain at 7 o'clock. As we approach the 9 o'clock hour, that's when we have the highest chance of rain. Again, this line will start to break apart a bit as it approaches the metro area. So not everyone going to get the rain, but certainly that chance of rain continues through the evening. By the time you wake up tomorrow morning, it will be windy, cooler, and dry. The rain will be out of here. Speaking of tomorrow, huge change in temperatures. Today we got up to 84. Tomorrow only up to 69 degrees. On top of that, winds sustained at 20 to 25 miles an hour with gusts up to 30 miles an hour. And that chilly trend continues. 84 was the high tomorrow. We're only getting up to 69 on Wednesday, and the rest of the week into the weekend, we're going to see highs in the 60s and low 70s, and that includes Mother's Day weekend, a beautiful dry weekend to celebrate mom, but it is going to be much cooler, especially when you look at those overnight temperatures. We'll be in the 40s several days this week.